Hi friends, we have our line drawing that we did together and we are now going to add paint to it to make it look a little bit brighter and a little bit more fun. So you can see here, I have all kinds of lines. So I have these sort of curly lines, I have these blocked lines, I have dotted lines where you draw a line, then pick your pencil or your crayon up, draw another line, zigzag lines, wavy lines, spiral lines, and we're gonna add different colors to it. I did all my lines in different colors, and I'm gonna add some color. So we're gonna be using paints, and what you need is a paintbrush, you need a watercolor set, and you need this little sponge, which is in a tray right here, and a cup of water. Cold water only, because brushes only like to take baths in cold water. They don't like hot water. And I put this all in a little tray so that if you are dripping water, the tray kind of catches it if there's any little spills. So I'm gonna start with, let's see, I'll start with my purple spirals, and I'm gonna paint yellow over my purple spirals. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dip my paintbrush into the water and add a little bit of water to my yellow paint, and then I will kind of swish around my paintbrush and my yellow paint. I'm not gonna crush my paintbrush or really use a lot of force. I'm not gonna do something like that, because that will make my bristles of my brush all flat and crazy and unhappy. So I'm just gonna gently, in a circle, put some water into that yellow paint. Now I'm gonna hold my brush like this so that it's kind of on the side. I'm not gonna hold it like this. I'm not gonna stab the paper with it. I'm gonna hold it like this, and I'm gonna lightly go back and forth in that area with my yellow paint. Now, up here you can see my yellow paint looks really yellow and bright, and down here it's getting to be a lighter yellow. And I don't really want it to be a lighter yellow, so I'm gonna dip my paintbrush in my water again. I'm gonna swirl it around in the well of my paint, and then I'm gonna go back, so I'm gonna make it a really bright yellow. You don't have to use yellow. It's just the first color that I'm picking. And then I'm gonna look, and I want some more yellow paint on my paintbrush, but I can see there's actually kind of a lot of water in this little yellow paint already. So I'm not gonna dip it back in the water. I think there's enough water in it for right now. So I'm just gonna put my paintbrush back in the yellow and go back and forth like this, gently sweeping my paintbrush. And I'm gonna paint inside the lines that I drew right here. And then when I'm done, and I covered it all, even to the sides, and if we get a little paint on the table, that's okay, because we can always clean it up. But you wanna make sure your paint goes all the way to the edge of your paper. And then I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna give my paintbrush a bath, because I'm gonna pick a different color. So I'm gonna take my paintbrush, I'm gonna stick it in my cup, make it touch the bottom, then go 1, 2, 3 stirs, then take it out, and dry my paintbrush off on the sponge. That is what our sponge is doing here. So if we need to get some water off of our sponge to dry it a little bit, we can do that right here, so it's not drippy. Then I'm gonna think about which color I want next. I have a clean paintbrush, so I can pick a different color. And I think I'm gonna pick red. Red is one of my favorite colors. And I'm gonna paint that right here over these green zigzag lines. So again, I'm gonna take my paintbrush, I'm gonna dip it in the water, then I'm gonna add it to the red paint. I'm gonna be really neat. I'm gonna try not to spill paint all over. Gently kind of swish your brush around. Then in this section, I'm gonna paint red. I'm gonna try to paint in the lines, and when I see that my red is getting light and it's kind of turning into pink, if I see there's not enough water in my paint, I can add some more water. put some more paintbrush, or sorry, put some more paint on my paintbrush and go back in. Now, red is one of my favorite colors, and I like a really bright red. So I'm gonna keep going. And I'm hoping that you're noticing while I'm painting both the yellow and the red, you can still see the crayon lines that I drew. So even though I'm painting over it, the crayons still show through. Now I can see a little puddle of water in my red, so I'm not gonna add any more red water. I'm just gonna dip my paintbrush in. And I'm gonna keep going back and forth. I'll add water if I need to. And sometimes I won't need to add water if there's a little puddle there already. And go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And again, if I get some paint on the table, that's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. And I'm gonna stay inside the lines and add some paint that way. All right.